you've always had kind of a twisted sensibility. Did the nature of this project appeal to you because of that?
I mean, absolutely. It's funny. It's I'd say I just finished a film, and my wife said to me, "I don't know what you're doing. Why are you doing movies like Lars and the Real Girl and your commercials? It's so much more who you are." And then 3 weeks later, the script came in, which is so my sense of humor and so my sensibility, because it is. Underneath there's an enormous amount of underneath there's an enormous amount of emotion and empathy that I found in the script for these characters. But it's also absurdly funny and dark in places, and I love being in that world. Maybe it's my twisted. I always think it's Australian, but maybe it's maybe it's just me. But Margo was laughing too, so there's there was a few Australians on the set, so I think we always laughed at the same moments.
It took a couple of Aussies to get this one up, right? Would this story have worked as a straight drama or a straight comedy, or did it need that dark humor?
They wouldn't have. I wouldn't have done it, so I don't know. It's like I find life to be like so messy, and it's funny. Like in my life, a lot of times I give drama or tension, or particularly in like family life, I deal with it with humor. You know, so to me, it's sort of a natural extension to do that in film in terms of the dysfunction of families or relationships, and so that becomes interesting to me. And if it was just, I just don't think that the classic route with Tonya would have felt organic, because she is such a rebel and she is so outside of the system and won't stay within the lines of what people wanted. And so this crazy structure, I think, really reinforced that.
Right. Actually, and you mentioned the degree of empathy, and I happen to think this might go kind of a long way to rehabilitating Tonya in a sort of twisted way.
Well, it was, honestly, when I started out, when I read the script, I thought the most interesting challenge for me was we're taking this iconic figure that we all know as the villain in like American culture, and the punchline. I mean, I don't know if I should say this, but like, you know, Barack Obama like tweeted he was going to go Tonya Harding on a guy 2 years ago. I mean, this is 23 years after the incident, and she's still current, and she can't get out from under that shadow. And I thought, all right, what an amazing opportunity to take what's just become this poster child for violence and a villain, and re-examine her and try and look at her as a human being and what happened to her life and how she got to that point. But also, interestingly, if we could achieve that empathy without condoning what she did, but just understanding it, where she came from with the emotional and physical abuse, and to go through that journey, I think it also makes the audience hopefully feel a little guilty that we're so quick to judge and so quick to compartmentalize things. And it's like a bit of a cautionary tale for like everybody in the media.
Interesting, yeah. When you came on board, Margot Robbie was already attached. Did you find this a bold choice for her, and what was it like for you to witness her transformation?
It's funny, when I remember this, I was driving home from a shoot, and I get a call from my agent, Rich Kluback, and he goes, "Hey, there's a script that's coming in about Tonya Harding." And I was like, "I just did a sports like biopic. I don't really want to." And then he finished the sentence. It's like starring Margot Robbie, and I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." Because I love Margot's work, and she's got this amazing talent of being able to do drama and comedy simultaneously and have that empathy. So the idea of her with this, and I was hoping the script would be good, and it turns out, you know, I got to read it and it was amazing. And I could see her in it so clearly at that point, and I could see why she wanted to do it. I couldn't have been more excited.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You chose in the film not to really dwell on the actual incident, but I remember at the time it was such a shocking episode.
Yeah. It's funny. But the incident actually comes exactly halfway through the film. And then, you know, the rest of it is the repercussions of that incident. But there wasn't so, but you say there's not much dwelling, but it's almost in real time, the actual incident when it happens in the film. And we stayed so loyal to what actually happened. I mean, this guy literally came up to a door that was locked, was holding a baton, and decided to headbutt it and break the glass instead of using the baton. And he did tackle a guy an elderly guy outside the doors as soon as he got outside. So we tried to stay incredibly faithful to what was happening.
Ooh, it is kind of bumbling Keystone Cops, isn't it?
It is, and then Ricky Russett, who played that role, it kind of, like, the fear and the trepidation in his performance, I think, just kind of kills you. That, it could have been a lot goofier, but then, trying to put that, just trying to get in his head and see, like what he was a kid, didn't know anything that he was doing, right. And just, it was crazy and stupid, but that's what these characters were doing.
I asked Margot this, how much of a delight it is to play white trash redneck without sort of using the cliches.
Right.
How difficult was the tone of this film to accomplish, and Margot's portrayal of that sort of archy stereotype?
It's funny. It wasn't. I did. Maybe this is naive, but I didn't find the tone difficult. Once we had our cast, like Margot was so brilliant in that role, and it was the one thing we didn't know. It's like you never know how much preparation our actors are going to do, and you hope that they're going to go through all of that work. And I was amazed at the amount of preparation she had in this, and how prepared she was when it came to the day. So it was literally just letting the reins go and letting her run with it, because her talent was astounding for me. It's like she transformed physically with the dialect into Tonya Harding, and she had to do it both on the ice and off the ice, and then she had to do it from 15 to 46, and usually on the same day. It's like,
were the skating scenes difficult to pull off?
She trained for 5 months, right. And for 5 months, I gave her the routines 5 months before we started shooting, and her skating coordinator worked on the moments that they could do for those 5 months. And I kept being like, how's it going? And I wouldn't, she'd be like, good, but she wouldn't show me anything. And then after like 2 months, she's like, I got on my outside edges today. And I was like, that doesn't sound like a lot of progress. So I was a little nervous coming into it, but then she turned up and she started doing these dance routines with the high kicks and the spins, and it was so much more than I expected.